Hey there, it's Frank Buckley from the KTLA 5 Morning News. Welcome to the 2021 Japanese American National Museum Virtual Gala. After many years of emceeing our in-person galas, I know that some of you expect to hear the line from my Japanese mother that she has said to me since I was a boy. Maybe it's a line you heard from your mother or grandmother. I don't want to disappoint, so here it is again. 日本の血が流れてるのよ。忘れないでね。はい、わかりました、お母様。I won't forget that I have Japanese blood in my veins. So while I'm sorry I couldn't be with you as MC tonight, I am happy to fulfill my duty per my now 90-year-old Okasan to say welcome to the gala once again this year. Like all of you, I am a supporter of our Japanese American National Museum. Its mission to educate people is more important than ever. Let's be honest, there's been a shocking level of hate and crime directed at people of Asian ancestry recently, and it's up to all of us to stand up to it and to educate those who may not see Asians as human. The Japanese American National Museum has been doing that for decades, educating students and adults about the incredible history, the struggles, and the triumphs of Americans of Japanese descent, while at the same time standing up for others who are facing persecution just for who they are. I hope you're as proud as I am to be associated with that mission. Thanks for being here and for supporting JANM. I look forward to joining all of you in person next year. For now, please enjoy your evening at the Japanese American National Museum Virtual Gala.
Love it. Woo! Woo! Welcome to the second virtual and hopefully last JANM Gala. I'm Amy Hill.
I'm Jully Lee.
And I'm Derek Mio. How's everyone doing?
I'm good. I'm here in Los Angeles. Mostly I live in Honolulu now. So, once we shut down, I just decided to stay there. And it was, I think, a good idea.
That must be terrible. That must be terrible.
I know.
What a terrible place to quarantine.
Stuck in Hawaii.
I know. I never expected it to last this long. And now I have so many beautiful masks. I hope to wear the masks forever.
I've been sitting here since the last virtual gala, which I feel like it just happened. I feel like that just happened.
Yeah, I missed the actual walking into the Japanese American National Museum, though, because it felt like a really big milestone to be able to have all of our stories, in this beautiful place.
Well, what's great about that, Amy, is that as we'll learn throughout this program, that the museum's been really busy digitizing and making the exhibits available for people online so it could reach a much greater audience. So there's a silver lining.
There's a silver lining, and that's going to keep going. I think a lot of this made us create different ways of seeing things and listening to things and exploring things. And I really look forward to doing that. Anyway, let's start the show.
Thank you for being with us, everyone.
Yay.
On behalf of the Board of Trustees and the Board of Governors, I would like to welcome all of you to JANM's 2021 Annual Gala and Silent Auction. I would like to take a few moments to reflect on this last year of massive upheaval, a pandemic that shook our world and has caused untold loss and pain. Our country has come to grips with a long overdue reckoning with race. And we as Asian Americans have come face to face with the stain of anti-Asian violence and hatred that is creeping across the nation. We've been here before. As Japanese Americans, we know our own history, and we know how easily prejudice and discrimination can turn to hate and violence. Because we have been here before, our mission at JANM is more relevant and more urgent than ever. Your support helps us to ensure that our programs focus the light of history on the present and the future. I am immensely proud of what JANM has achieved, and never more so than during this last year, when, even as a virtual museum, we have continued to stand as a beacon of hope against hatred and discrimination. And we could not have done this without you. And so I thank you very, very much. Enjoy the evening.
I'm never gonna wanna walk alone down the path that's wide and broken. I'm never gonna wanna be far gone. We can't see the door that's open. We don't need to make everything alright. We gotta just hold on. We don't gotta be strong. We only have to try. It isn't gonna be long. Can't you feel it coming on? Getting through to the other side. Nothing's ever gonna be the same, but it never was gonna be anyway. You never have to be so ashamed to find the beauty in the changes, 'cause we got this one chance to hold each other tight. Hold on, woo. We don't gotta be strong. Only have to try. It isn't gonna be long. Can't you feel it coming on? Getting through to the other side. Yeah, ooh, yeah. Get through to the other side. Get through to the other side. Can't you feel it coming on? Oh, it's gonna be alright. It's gonna be alright. Oh, it's gonna be alright. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. You gotta just hold on. You don't gotta be strong. You only have to try. Can't you feel it coming on? Getting through to the other side.
On behalf of the Gala Committee, thank you all for joining us here today. In a year like we've never seen before, your support is critical to continuing JANM's mission, and we're so grateful for your belief in the value of our beloved museum. We especially want to thank our signature sponsors, Aratani Foundation, MUFG Union Bank North America, Tedasaki Family Foundation, and Toyota Motor North America. Additionally, we'd like to thank JANM staff and our fellow Gala committee members. Without their dedication and work, this evening would not be possible.
And we hope you'll bid enthusiastically on our amazing online auction items. We have something for everyone, and you can find something that you've always wanted and benefit JANM at the same time. We are excited to have many new items this year, including original art by Japanese American artists and craftspeople, including wonderful pieces by artists in the Japanese Arts Network based in Denver, Colorado. We also have fashion and jewelry items and some wonderful signed sports memorabilia and some fabulous golf outings at top golf courses around the country, on the East Coast, the West Coast, and in Hawaii. So in order to bid on these amazing items, please visit the website below. Thank you so much, and please enjoy the rest of the evening.
Good evening, JANM family. My name is Leighton Okada. It's an honor to perform a song for you tonight. In my short time at JANM as an intern, I was taught to take pride in my Japanese American heritage. My grandfather, Masahito Okada, embodied that for me. And though he passed around this time last year, his faith and love for others still offer me an example to live by, especially in times like these. So in honor of my grandfather, who loved to play this simple song on his harmonica, this is As the Deer. Enjoy.
You know, for the past few years, the strength of our democracy has felt as fragile as at any point in our history. And it has really highlighted, at least to me, the importance of who controls the narrative and who is doing the storytelling. So to have places like JANM doing the work of really strengthening the voice of Japanese people living in America is extremely vital. And I appreciate all of the work that the people that work there do and all of the people who contribute towards it. So I'm very fortunate to be a part of this evening's celebration. I'm reading My Church by Takiko Inoue. My church is not of marble with damask hangings rare. It has no rich, warm carpet on which to kneel in prayer, nor has it a deep-toned organ, but it's God's house. He is there. Our windows are not spacious or made of gold-stained glass, but they keep out the noises and let the sunlight pass. And now, each Sunday morning, when we seek God through our gloom, we see him much more closely in our church, a barrack room.
That was wonderful.
Beautiful. That was
my
so
God.
beautiful. Let's hear it for all those performances, huh?
Those artists and music.
God.
Leighton Okada. Oh my God.
Oh my
It was like,
gosh.
honey, I had to tighten the earbuds to my ears. It was so beautiful. Oh my gosh.
He cloned himself just for that video for our entertainment.
So
It was
genius.
amazing. So talented. I was thinking we should try our own song. What do you think, guys?
I'm not that girl that knows how to sing that well.
Okay, we'll work on that.
Hello from the JANM Education Unit. Over the past year, we've transitioned our programs from on-site to virtual to meet the changing needs of students and teachers. In October of 2020, we proudly launched JANM Virtual Visits.
We miss seeing students, teachers, and our beloved JANM volunteers on site, but we've made it a priority to adapt to the current circumstances and provide access to the Japanese American story through digital technology. Our virtual visits program offers students the chance to engage with and learn from JANM's collections in a fun and interactive way. One highlight of the program is the first-person Q&A, where students speak with a JANM volunteer with firsthand experience of incarceration in America's concentration camps.
Overall, we've had a great response to our program, and since launching, we've welcomed over 3,000 virtual visitors. With our virtual visits program, we've been able to reach far beyond Southern California and across the United States.
Even though we're not in person, I felt every emotion. I felt kind of as if I was actually in the museum.
I've been with Miss Potts at least 3 or 4 times, and I was wondering how is this going to work? But I feel like it's equal or better. I think I could see how the students were affected and some emotions.
So I know it's hard for a lot of students to thrive distance learning, but I think, given the circumstances, I know I'm trying to still give them a rich and thorough education. When I told my students, we're going on a field trip, they were like, wait, what? We could do that. And so I think they were just really excited. And I love to bring my students to the Japanese American National Museum, however, in whatever way I could do that.
I did a sketch of Mr. Moss while he was speaking, so I don't know if this would be helpful.
Oh my God.
I was too inspired. I was like, I should draw him. He just seems so cool.
This year's bid for education will continue to support underserved students. Through your generosity, virtual visit fees are waived for all Title I schools, and we look forward to soon welcoming students back to the museum with transportation and admission grants.
Thank you so much for your kind support and generosity. We hope to see you soon, and until then, please take care.
Like I said before, it's so important, the work that the museum has done during the quarantine to digitize the artifacts and make access to the museum available to much more broader communities, which is so
over 3,000 visitors going virtual. That's incredible. The reach that this virtual platform has.
So we encourage you to please visit janm2021.givesmart.com, and you can donate to Bid for Education as well as bid on many items in the silent auction. Have you guys bid on anything?
Not yet. It's so dangerous for me.
Hi, I'm Lynn Yamasaki, Director of Education. I am pleased to give some live updates. I'll be popping in throughout this evening to see how we're doing on our bid for education. And I'm really proud. I'm really proud to work at this place that with students and teachers to to share awareness and education about Japanese American history and its relevance today. And, we really couldn't do our work without all of your support. So we thank you. And this evening, we're starting off at $83,925, which is incredible. So thank you. Thank you to all of our supporters. Thank you to those that gave early. Thank you to Joanne Masuda. We really appreciate you, and we are grateful. We want to thank Beverly Okada as well for your early support. It means so much to us to see your names up here. So we hope that you will all help us grow this number this evening. And you can do so by texting JANM 2021 to 76278. So let's get back to the program, and I'll check in with you a little bit.
Aloha from Honolulu. Congratulations to the Japanese American National Museum on your annual gala. Your important work and support to the community is appreciated. The sound of the taiko is said to bring good luck, health, and happiness.
Hey guys, how are you?
Hey guys!
Hey Dale.
Hi Derek, hi Dale.
You guys, we are so lucky to be joined today by actor and playwright Jeanne Sakata and the real life JA civil rights hero, Mr. Dale Minami, who I was so fortunate and I got to portray you in this project for us all.
I pitched the idea of doing a play about the 1980s Coram Nobis battle of Fred Korematsu because I was always fascinated by the Sansei attorneys and others who fought this battle to overturn the criminal conviction.
Evidence was discovered that the Supreme Court was lied to. When those documents came to light from Peter Irons and Aiko Yoshinaga Herzig, we were able to reopen these three men's cases. I became lead counsel for Fred Korematsu, and eventually their convictions were overturned right in the midst of the redress battle.
It was just such a great script, Jeanne, and I'm just so honored that I get to play this amazing man right here.
What a treat that was, Derek. Seeing you speak with Jeanne Sakata and Dale Minami. Lucky you.
Yes.
I liked my hair better in that video.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But
you look younger then.
Yeah, so much younger.
Okay, listen. Okay, we don't need to go there. Listen. There might be casting directors watching. We don't need to age ourselves.
Hi, this is Marie Digby, and I'm so honored to be here today to celebrate and support and honor the Japanese American National Museum, which has been a very big part of my life. And especially in a crazy year like this, I also just happened to give birth to my first son a couple weeks ago, and it's just reminding me how important it is for us to support institutions like the Japanese American National Museum, to have a place to learn, to grow, to remind ourselves how we got here, who our ancestors are, and I can't wait to share that with my son. So I have a song to sing you. It's from one of my favorite movies growing up called Majo no Takyubin, or Kiki's Delivery Service. So I hope you enjoy this.
小さい頃は神様がいて毎日愛を届けてくれた心の奥にしまい忘れた大切な箱開く時は今カーテンを開いて静かな木漏れ日の優しさに包まれたならきっと目に映るすべてのことはメッセージ
Congratulations to the Japanese American National Museum on tonight's gala dinner. I'm very proud of my Japanese heritage, my birth country, and my mom's ancestral home in the way I live my life, raise my kids, and serve our community. Needless to say, it's an honor to be invited to address this gala as the first manager of Asian descent to lead his team to a World Series title. The World Series champion Los Angeles Dodgers, a franchise that has an indelible connection to Japan through the contributions of Tommy Lasorda and the O'Malley family, and of course, Hideo Nomo. Thanks again to the Japanese American National Museum, and go Dodgers!
Go Dodgers! Oh! Whew. I'm getting very excited about all these people.
Yes, go Dodgers!
Hello, my name is Mia Doi Todd. My mother's family was all interned during World War II in the Japanese American internment camps, and it had a big impact on our family. Reggae music is traditionally a music of protest, so I decided to write a reggae song about the internment camp experience, and it's called Take What You Can Carry. I edited together the public domain footage shot by the War Relocation Authority about the camps, and I made a video for the song. That's what you're about to see.
Hello everyone. This is Kazuo Koshi, Executive Chairman of MUFG Union Bank. It's a pleasure to be reunited with everyone virtually once again. Over the past year, the power of our community has been tested. But organizations like JANM has kept us connected throughout this unprecedented challenge. Thanks to your work, we will emerge even more resilient, empathetic, and stronger as a community. That's why MUFG Union Bank has proudly supported JANM since its day one in the 80s. And I am proud to be part of JANM. Let's celebrate our great community tonight. Thank you for all you do for bringing us together.
Today I'll be reading from the very end of a short story I wrote that was included in this collection, Los Angeles Noir. And it's called The Chirashi Covenant. And it centers around a woman, a Nisei, named Helen Miura. Helen, Diana, and Mama moved into the wood-framed house in Southern California. Next door was a flower farm and packing shed. "That Miura widow is a cold one," the grower's wife said to her husband as they were bunching up flowers at night to get ready for the early morning drive to the flower market in Los Angeles. The flower grower Tad simply nodded, so that his wife would be under the impression that he was listening. "Never says hello. She was on one of those beauty queen courts back in 1941, but she wasn't a queen. Too stuck up for the judges, I think." Tad grunted. He wasn't one to spread stories, but he knew who she was. One day when he was driving back from the flower market in the morning after the children left for school, he saw her in the middle of his snapdragon blooms next to one of the oil derricks. She was screaming and crying. At first he thought she had been injured. When he slowed his panel truck, she straightened her hair and rubbed the smeared makeup from below her eyes. "You okay?" he asked from his open car window. She stared back at him, her eyes shining like wet black stones. She then spoke, her voice barely audible above the squeak of the derricks. "Are any of us?" Tad's panel truck remained idling as the widow slowly walked back into her house and closed the door.
Hello, my name is Joy Yamaguchi, and I'm the Public Programs Coordinator at the Japanese American National Museum. A year ago, when the museum had to close its physical doors, we had to adapt quickly to shift all of our public programming online. While it has definitely been a challenge, our virtual programming through our JANM at Home initiative has allowed us to connect with new audiences and dive into new topics in really exciting and unexpected ways. In the last year, we've hosted more than 70 virtual programs, reaching audiences in more than 30 countries around the world. We've been able to bring in guests from as far away as Japan and as close as our neighbors right here in Little Tokyo. And through it all, we've connected with you, our audiences and supporters, whose insight, feedback, and participation really is what has made all of these programs dynamic and powerful. We are so grateful for your donations and your support, which has really made all of this possible. And we look forward to connecting with you in person and virtually through the upcoming year. Thank you so much.
Oh my goodness. That's amazing.
70 programs.
70.
Next week, there's going to be a free reading of question 27, question 28, which I directed, an abridged version by Che-Yu, presented by JANM with Artists at Play from May 8th to May 21st, and it's free for theater for young audiences. So these programs that JANM presents and produces, they're vital to the rich storytelling and the historical evidence.
I mean, it really has blown up everything. So we got to keep this thing going, even when JANM opens up again. We got to just keep this going, okay,
Yes.
JANM?
So your donations are making a difference, everyone. So
That's
whatever
right.
you can.
Hi, Kishi Bashi here. My actual name is Kaoru Ishibashi. And with all the great work that JANM does, I also want to thank them for including me in your community. You see, I'm what you would call a Shin-Nisei. My mom's from Okinawa, my dad's from Mie. They met in Seattle after the war, and I was born. And here I am, Japanese American as well. So it's great to feel community, and I look forward to creating more. A bright, bold future for Japanese Americans and minorities. We got to stick together, support each other. So I'll see you at a concert after the pandemic. I'll see you maybe at my movie. This is a song called For Every Voice That Never Sang. I'm a stranger today. I'm a shadow with the darkest shade of gray. In the bright noonday sun, I will wither away. Many faces anew, not the same, but they're all the same to you. In the sea of it all, I was waving at you. In the middle of this ocean, in the deepest of the beds, I had written down a poem that you never could have read. There is a time, there is a place for us, for every voice I never sang, for everyone I choose. I'm with you, I'm alone with you. Can't wait for the world can be a better place, countless hours to embrace with you. Get vaccinated. Keep your mask on. See you soon. Enjoy your evening.
Hey everyone. I'm just going to update you really fast on the bid for education. My name's Evan Kodani. I'm in the JANM Media Arts Department. Lynn will join us in a sec if her internet goes back up. But I thought I'd just show you what we're at now. We're up to $91,025. So we'd really like to thank everyone who's been donating. I know we've gotten a lot of volunteers and board members, as well as longtime members, charter members who've been donating. So thanks to Susan Onuma, thanks to Christine Nishiyama. And just remember, you can text JANM 2021 to 76278. And oh, hello, Lynn. Is there anything you want to say before we head back into the program to remind people to bid?
No, I'm so sorry. I'm not sure what's going on my end, but we really appreciate you. And thank you to all, and thank you to the performers who are sharing the gifts with us tonight. So we'll check back in with you later, hopefully, and enjoy the rest of the program.
Hello, my name is Go Nakamura, and I'm going to sing a song that I wrote called Hold On to Your Humanity. I never thought I'd have to say it. I never thought it'd come to this fate. Hands on the clock, they blur the timeline. Next thing you know, it's just too late. Hold on to your imagination. Hold on to your hopes and dreams. Hold on to your humanity. You can let go of the other things. And I never thought I'd have to say it. I always thought it was common sense. Am I the optimist or the cynic? Just depends on when you ask me, I guess. Hold on to your imagination. Hold on to your hopes and dreams. Hold on to your sense of wonder. Hold on to your humanity. You can let go of the other things. Hold on to your humanity. Hold on onto a hand that needs it. When we're losing our grip, at least we'll have hope at our fingertips.
The museum has been able to adapt to the current situation because of the innovation and adaptability of all of the museum staff.
We've been doing a lot of the behind-the-scenes work. We've been rotating artifacts. We have done a cleaning of the barracks and common ground. We've been planning for new exhibitions, and we've also been creating a video series called Unboxed. We're trying to take visitors behind the scenes in collections, and we're also trying to tell more stories about artifacts in the collection to make JANM's permanent collection more accessible to the public.
And so that's been one of the great ways that we've been able to continue the work of the museum in a very robust and meaningful way for our public, as well as one of our key constituents is our volunteers. When the museum had to close down, I think that was one of the saddest parts, was the fact that we would no longer be able to see our volunteers in any meaningful way. And so it became clear that we needed to figure out ways to engage them, having them learn to adapt to the digital age themselves.
I think that this is the tightest team I've ever had, because we've just sort of really been forced to communicate more in all different ways. I think we all feel like what we're doing it for the good of the museum. I think that this last year has made me feel I really know why I work here.
And so we're looking forward to the day when we can all reunite and continue the great work of the museum here under one roof together.
Dear President Roosevelt, we, the parents of citizens of Japanese ancestry, longed for America, land of the free and equal, left behind our familiar birthplace, and came a great distance to this country. And in this land of strange language and customs, struggling against innumerable obstacles, we attempted to gain a secure means of living. In time, with grace of God, our children were born in this country, and we brought them up as splendid American citizens. We understand that the purpose for which the United States is allowing tremendous sacrifices in fighting the war today is to establish freedom and equality throughout the world. When they, the Nisei, consider the purpose of this war and then think about the treatment they are receiving at present, they discover the existence of a great paradox. They are dejected and now have lost their firm, unshakable faith and spirit. To think of sending them in this condition to the front, we as mothers, considering the past and the future, feel an extreme and unbearable anguish. Our loving and judicious Mrs. Roosevelt, in this connection, we would like to have you please consider the suspension of the drafting of citizens of Japanese ancestry until they regain the confidence that they can demonstrate their loyalty to the United States from the bottom of their hearts. And we earnestly petition to be granted gracious words of advice and humbly await a reply from you. Very respectfully yours, Mothers Society.
Hey everyone, this is Kip Fulbeck, and I'm honored to be able to speak to give my thanks to the Japanese American National Museum. My career would not be anywhere without JANM. They gave me my first major exhibition, solo exhibition with my Hapa project back in the mid-2000s. That was the first exhibition to ever really talk about the multiracial API experience. And I think for someone whose DNA is, English, Irish, Welsh, and Chinese and Pacific Islander, I feel like like JANM really gave me a place to call a home, and really gave, a Hapa kid like me a place that I felt welcome. And I feel like their mission was really successful in that way from personal experience. So I have so many thanks to give to the staff and the members of JANM, and I wish them all the success as we continue to grow. Thank you.
I just want to echo you, Amy, saying how amazing like all these programs the museum's putting on, and
right?
Like we take for granted when we go into the museum that the uniform will just be hanging there, that artifact will just be placed there. I mean, they're hand placing all these things, and
everything's really thoughtful. I mean, they have brought in so many. It's not just Japanese American. It's like the history of everybody who's sort of other, that they've come and welcomed and embraced and told their stories as well. Because, all of those people have been part of our story as Japanese Americans. We lived next to them. We lived amongst them. So, it's really a great place. And we still now, as a community, stand by Black Lives Matter, all of the immigrants that are, being put into those cages. And I love JANM.
Oh, I love JANM.
We love you. We love you, JANM.
Hello, this is Herboto Jr. from Honolulu, Hawaii. And I am Sansei, third generation Japanese. The Japan American National Museum provides so much information, so much historical information to the general public. And I will continue to support them, and I will continue to share my music in honor of my heritage and also the heritage of all Japanese Americans. Mahalo.
Hello, my name is Amy Uematsu. I belong to a lucky group of aging Sansei baby boomers who have enjoyed Little Tokyo since we were kids. This poem is called Thanks from a LA Sansei boomer. Thanks for all the JA farmers, flower growers, nurserymen, gardeners, and we women who've kept them going without complaint. For Bon carnivals every summer weekend, Sansei dances at Roger Young in Parkview, holiday bowl noodles after dancing till 2 a.m., and nicknames like Muck, Mashi, Jimbo, and Shag, samurai flicks at the Toho La Brea, Nikkei news from the Rafu, Kashu, and Gidra. Thanks for activist scholars like Yuji Ichioka and the Japanese American National Museum for telling our true stories. For Manzanar in my Yonsei son's history book, and hearing my Gosei grandson tell me his school celebrates Fred Korematsu Day. Thanks for the legions of Nikkei heroes from the 442 to No-No Boys, and all those who fought for redress and reparations. For decades of Serve the People programs ranging from JACS to JACCC, Visual Communications, the Pioneer Center, East-West Players. And thanks for my being old enough to witness 5 generations of Buddha heads still calling LA Little Tokyo home.
Hi, I'm Nobuko Miyamoto, and it's my pleasure to be part of this gala celebration of JANM, Japanese American National Museum. We celebrate you because you are an anchor here in Little Tokyo, Los Angeles, so important to us. But also, you're an archive of our history, of our stories, of our struggles, and our dreams. And this has been a very, very tough year for us. With the pandemic, with the racist outbreaks that we're feeling ourselves. I wanted to sing something celebratory, something that shows our resilience, our resistance, our contributions and our diversity as Asian American women. I'm not your butterfly, I'm not your picture bride. I am a samurai woman who holds up half the sky. I have unbowed my head, I have unbound my feet. I have endured the heat, I'm not afraid to leave. I am. I'm a grandmother, I'm a barefoot gardener, a lover, a healer, I'm a memory keeper. I am a dancer, I'm a freedom believer. I am a seeker, I am a cultural weaver. I am. I'm not your butterfly, I'm not your picture bride. I am a samurai woman who holds up half the sky. I have unbowed my head, I have unbound my feet. I have endured the heat, I'm not afraid to leap. I am a woman who holds up half the sky. You are the women who hold up half the sky. We are the women who hold up half the sky. We are the women who hold up half the sky. We are the women.
talking live history book of social activism. Oh my God.
She's a legend.
The first time I saw her perform was at JANM.
Oh God, being around her always feels so historic. And I think, why am I tired? We have to keep fighting.
Hi, we're the staff of JANM's Watase Media Arts Center. As you saw earlier during the In Memoriam, the namesake of our department, Frank H. Watase, passed away last year at the age of 96. Frank was an early supporter of JANM's mission to preserve and share the Japanese American story, and he generously donated $1 million to the museum to establish the Frank H. Watase Media Arts Center.
Because of Frank's vision, our department has been incredibly fortunate in having the opportunity to produce a series of award-winning documentaries and online videos for all of JANM's exhibitions and programs.
This past year, we were nominated twice for the Emmy Awards, one of which won our documentary, Masters of Modern Design, The Art of the Japanese American Experience.
One of the silent auction items this year comes from the family of one of the artists that's featured in the documentary. So let's take a look.
This is some of the furniture that's in the Konoid studio. Some of it's very old, some of it is not so old. We access this lumber pile almost daily in order to make our furniture. I think there are about 67 species of wood in here, although some of them are in short supply. Most of it is black walnut. And some of it's here from my father's time.
Hi, my name is Hisako Terasaki. My family and I are so proud to donate to the Japanese American National Museum. My husband Paul would be pleased that the family is continuing to support the organization that he truly believed in. Please continue your wonderful work and God bless you all.
On August 4th, 1981, I testified before what we call the Redress Commission. That event was exactly 4 decades from this evening tonight. Mr. Chairman and distinguished commissioners, I'm George Takei, and I come before you to testify on the evacuation and incarceration of American citizens of Japanese ancestry as one who lived through that experience as a child. And in all candor, I must say that I was really too young to understand what I had lived through. I was too young to understand, but I do remember the barbed wire fence from which my parents warned me to stay away. I remember the sight of high guard towers. I remember soldiers carrying rifles, and I remember being afraid. The shadow cast by my camp experience reached far into the post-war period of my boyhood and stayed in my head a long, long time. In school, we were taught glowingly of the traditions of America, the heritage of individual dignity and freedom. For us, however, our heritage is, in fact, the loss of liberty and freedom. Ours is a story of indignity and incarceration. Ours is a case of the failure of American ideals. Because of this history, those ideals of individual dignity and freedom are that much more precious to us. We appreciate the values of American ideals as few Americans today can. I have come to understand that as noble and as precious as our American ideals are, they can also be very fragile. Democracy can only be as good or as strong or as true as the people who make it so. I urge restitution for the incarceration of American citizens of Japanese ancestry, because that restitution would, at the same time, be a bold move to strengthen the integrity of America. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Tully Leung. I am a Broadway actor, and I had the wonderful honor and privilege of appearing on Broadway in Allegiance with my dear friend and yours, George Takei. Now, I know the theme of this year's gala is reuniting, and I look forward to brighter, sunshiny days ahead when we can all be at this gala together in person to celebrate and support the incredible work happening at the Japanese American National Museum to preserve the rich and beautiful history of the Japanese American experience.
I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny.
I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all the obstacles in my way. Here is the rainbow I've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day.
It's gonna be a bright, 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 a bright, sunshiny. It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day.
Yo, Tay! Oh my gosh!
Bringing it.
He is so bright and sunshiny.
He's the epitome of triple threat.
And George, I mean, he's always been a fighter too. I just love him. I'm on Instagram every day going, yes, George, go for George. Anyway.
Yes, Amy, what is it? What can I help you with?
Exactly.
Oh my.
Was that your George impression?
I was trying to do.
Oh, okay.
Close.
Deeper.
Well, this has been a fantastic evening, I have to say, and
I'm overwhelmed by the talent of the readers, the actors, the singing, the musicians. It was so it felt so ohana. I'm not Hawaiian, but I feel like I understand the meaning of that word when I see these performances that are just so beautiful and impactful.
It gives me so much pleasure to welcome you to JANM's annual gala and silent auction. And were finally open to the public after almost 14 long months. It was important for all of us, especially now during this time of rising anti-Asian hatred and violence, that we needed to be open so that JANM can be a place of refuge, a place for reflection, renewal, and hope. Despite the challenges and uncertainty of our pandemic world, and there have been many, for us at JANM, it's been a year of extraordinary bounty, and it's given us a strong focus on building for the future, and we certainly have much to be grateful for. We were designated as an American cultural treasure. We received the largest grant in JANM's history from the Ford Foundation. We were awarded an Emmy for the PBS documentary, Masters of Modern Design, The Art of Japanese American Experience, that was produced by our Watase Media Arts Center. We transformed ourselves into a virtual museum. Our JANM from Home platform brings you online programs that draw parallels with the past and the imperfect present, programs that give our mission contemporary relevance and urgency during this time of racial reckoning and upheaval. We also launched an impressive new museum class website, and I hope you'll take a moment to check it out. And we also started work in earnest on Reimagining Common Ground, our core exhibition. We could not have done any of this without the creativity and commitment of our extraordinary staff who inspire me every day. Their commitment to JANM has never flagged during these long months as they've worked from home. And we could also not have done this without you, our most valued members and supporters. You've kept us whole. You've allowed us to focus on building for the future. And most importantly, you've kept our spirits up when we've needed it the most. And for that, I thank you.
To unlock the world's greatest potential, we have to look. We need to look beyond what we recognize, beyond what's familiar.
We have to look where we haven't looked before.
We need empathy, because improving your world starts with improving someone else's. To hire, promote, fund tomorrow's potential. That's when change will happen.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Toyota has proudly supported JANM since the day the museum first opened its doors. Knowing and respecting the Japanese American story is respecting the American story and the diversity of our country. Now more than ever, as this pandemic has disproportionately affected minorities and as violence against Asian Americans continues to rise, it's so important that we reflect on our complex American history so we don't repeat the mistakes of the past. And as we all struggle with how to best support the Japanese American community during this challenging time, please know that your participation in this year's Lexus Opportunity Drawing makes a difference. 100% of the proceeds goes towards JANM's education and programming. We received thousands of entries from across the country. Let's see who the winner is of this fabulous Lexus 450 Hybrid. Congratulations to the winner of the Lexus RX 450 Hybrid. And thank you to everyone who participated in this opportunity drawing and for your support of JANM.
Congratulations, Arlene. We're really happy for you. Arlene is a museum member who has been buying tickets since 2015. So we really hope that you enjoy who purchased opportunity entries into our Lexus Opportunity Drawing this. So on a related note, we want to thank Toyota for we've just heard that they will be gifting $100,000 of support to the Japanese American National Museum education programs. So thank you to Toyota. Let's check in one more time to see how we're doing. We're up to $100,360. Thank you so much. Wendy Shiorama, thank you. We are deeply grateful. And to Helen Ota, she's a favorite in Little Tokyo, former staff of JANM. To Nancy and Kay Ota, thank you. Joanna Ursig, I hope I'm saying that correctly. To Jay Shiba, thank you. We're so grateful, and your generosity inspires us every day to do our best. So I will turn back over to Julie, Amy, and Derek, and don't forget you can continue to contribute to the Bid for Education after the gala.
Well, I'm sure everybody had a great time watching this evening, like we did. We're so lucky.
Everyone out there watching, I hope you also feel this love, this connection, this community that this platform has to offer through JANM. JANM truly is a home and a hub for the community, and I'm just blown away by the staff at JANM, the hard work that they do to just raise the bar on excellence and storytelling.
And I can't wait to see everybody in person.
In person at the museum. They are now open.
The museum's open.
Yes. You got to wear masks. Amy, you can come with all of your beautiful masks.
Oh, my beautiful masks.
So we hope to see you there. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, everybody.